Hey everybody, this is John and welcome to the free video. For those of you that don't know if my if my voice sounds a little off, I did have to get hernia surgery on Friday, and what I didn't know is when they knock you out, they actually stick a tube down your throat to allow you to breathe on a machine, I'm assuming. So my vocal cords have been very sore and I'm still recovering here, so it's a lot of fun. Good times for sure. So let's dive in and look at the markets here. So NVIDIA, we did have a really solid trade on this. We've been in it for a little while. Our target was 174.51, the snow line. We gapped up here yesterday. We took our profits, and then I was looking to reload yesterday, but if we could come down and fill this gap. We didn't get down there. We got down there this morning, but this morning, we've already got earnings on this tomorrow. So I don't like to do earnings trades the day of earnings. So this one, I got a lot of questions about this one today, but I am looking to do an actual earnings trade on it tomorrow. When, let's see here, for when their earnings are released. So for the internals here, if you're a premium member, be sure to look at the premium video tonight. We did this in the room today where I taught everybody how to read internals so that they could predict that the markets would actually rally into the close today. All right, and that's a lot of fun. Something that I've looked at the internals for well over 10,000 hours, and it was a fun discussion. A lot of people that didn't know how to do that, so be sure to check that out. Keeps people a little bit more sane during the market gyrations. For tomorrow, one stock I am going to be watching here is Tesla. We do have a 30-minute squeeze on, and I do want to see if it can get a rally back up to the fire line here. Obviously, there continues to be a lot of short interest in that. And then in terms of earnings next week, two trades I continue to like here are Alibaba. This is one we added to today on the pullback. Keep in mind that the all-time high here is very close, and I think, like NVIDIA, we can breach through that prior to earnings. And the same can be said of Momo. Okay, so same thing here where I believe this was an all-time high today or yesterday, and looking for kind of the same thing for it to make one more little push before its earnings next week. Okay. In terms of other markets and things like that too, for the NASDAQ today, even though with all the bad news, it did hold up really, really well. And if we look here at a daily chart, you can see that we've got a daily squeeze forming and it's above its moving averages. So right now, everybody I know is looking for a down move. Frankly, I'm surprised that the market isn't rolling over, but I never bet against this setup, and this setup is bullish, believe it or not. Even though I look at Amazon and say, wow, Amazon's toast, when I look at Apple, Apple here looks fantastic, and there are enough fantastic charts here where it makes sense that we can get one more gasp up to the upside. In terms of hedges to the downside, though, I am looking at call credit spreads both on Google and Amazon. Okay, but the fun things here too, especially whether it's an up or down market, are just any explosive moves and things like that that are going to set up, and we're going to keep an eye on that. Okay, so explosive moves up and down. I've been getting a lot of questions about this, and it is enough questions where it's time to do a webinar on it. So really what it comes down to and stuff like this is a question I'll get. I mean, I did a webinar on income trades, right? And the income trades are nice, kind of low maintenance setups that aren't a lot of stressful, but can kind of, continue to stream money into your account, right? So what is something like a 10x trade? Well, a 10x trade is, and I'll be the first one to say this, is going to be a little bit more intense, okay? You've got to be a little bit more precise. You've got to have your plan and your ducks in a row a little bit better, but once you know the key steps, it's not that hard, okay? You just have to understand like when to do it, and frankly, most of the time when not to do it. Like most of the time you shouldn't be, trying to do some of these bigger trades like this. And by bigger, I don't mean how much you bet on the trade. I just mean like, wow, here's a trade that may go from, an option goes from $3 to $10, right? That's an awesome move, but how do you identify those moments in time when that can happen? So what I'm going to talk about here is how to turn dimes into dollars, catching volatility explosions. So we've still got some time to prepare for this. It's Thursday, August 17th. Okay, so that's not this week, but next week. And this will be at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock East Coast time. All right, and if you just click on here and sign up, you'll be good to go. I'll show you some of the stuff I'm going to talk about. So part of what I'll be doing is talking about one explosive setup that I continue to use, and I'm starting to find that it's starting to take place more and more. It's a setup that I used back 2 years ago, and I ended up turning that into buying a 200-acre ranch on a Tesla trade. Okay, and that's fun. But what's happening right now too is that yes, there's these opportunities out there, but what I found is, especially when you're in like an option like that, there's a period of time when a market is, it's kind of like, okay, it's moving and then it's kind of doing this, but you've got to be able to identify like this part of the move, right? You know that once it starts to kind of pull back, your option premium just implodes, right? And so you've got to time it and know how long to hold on and sell into this frenzy, okay? Because once it's over, I mean, my God, the options premium just evaporates, okay? So that's a big part of that. And part of this too is going to be talking about down markets, okay? Because I do think we're going to see September, October some pretty decent implosions, and I think these could potentially be way bigger than a stock like than a trade like the Tesla trade. Just reviewing like some macro moves for those of you that are into that. I've talked about gold, the dollar, essentially catching the bottom in major asset classes and what's coming up next there, and how to do it. A smart way to exploit the obscene profit potential of put and call options. And more importantly, how to avoid the heartbreak of making mistakes that wipe out profit. So the biggest thing I see here is fear. You get afraid to pull the trigger, different things like that. So first of all, it's kind of overcoming that and just some kind of tricks to get over that. When to bet small and when to load the boat for a potential home run. Now, when I say load the boat, I don't mean bet your whole account, but you can structure your account in such a way so you've got something reserved for bigger trades. And what does that mean? How much do you risk on it? How to predict explosions and implosions with shocking accuracy and limited risk, okay? And that's what we got. And also for everybody who attends, we'll get a free copy of this is a very popular class I did called The Billionaire Mindset, and it's really great just in terms of stuff I've learned over the years the hard way, and just want to share it with you. All right. So that's what we got. Looking forward to seeing you at this event, and you guys have awesome trading the rest of the week.